Well, it's time now for the barbecue report. Not the greatest barbecuing weather on Monday in Alberta. We are talking about those below seasonal conditions. The rain, it's still falling. We could see some thunderstorms through parts of the eastern prairies into northwestern Ontario Monday afternoon into Monday evening. But for southern Ontario, especially for all of you lucky folks who decided to head up to the cottage, perfect conditions to fire up the grill. Sunshine, temperatures seasonal or slightly above. This ridge of high pressure will continue right through midweek. Hi, you're watching the Weather Network. I'm Michelle Mackey. We've got storm hunters right around the corner for you, but let's take a quick look at Monday morning. Still dealing with those cool, unsettled conditions through Alberta and BC. A great day shaping up for southern Ontario. We'll be into the 20s by the afternoon. Now for the prairies, more unsettled weather as we move through the overnight. We have a cold front sliding through Manitoba into northwestern Ontario, likely to trigger some thunderstorms. Not as much energy as we were dealing with on Friday night, so likely going to be less severe in nature. There's this slow-moving upper-level low bringing rain to Saskatchewan. Storm Hunters concludes in just over 30 seconds, but let's take a look at Monday afternoon across the country. We do have some unsettled weather once again for the Maritimes, especially in through Nova Scotia. A clear day in Newfoundland, that's well-deserved. In the west, however, the unsettled weather continues, and it's all thanks to that pesky upper-level low. But in Ontario, picture perfect day. We have high pressure moving in, sunshine, temperatures on the rise. In fact, this ridge will continue to build right through midweek, so it really is an early taste of summer. Here's the conclusion of Storm Hunters. Well, it's time now for the barbecue report. Not the greatest barbecuing weather on Monday in Alberta. We are talking about those below seasonal conditions. The rain, it's still falling. We could see some thunderstorms through parts of the eastern prairies into northwestern Ontario Monday afternoon into Monday evening. But for southern Ontario, especially for all of you lucky folks who decided to head up to the cottage, perfect conditions to fire up the grill. Sunshine, temperatures seasonal or slightly above. This ridge of high pressure will continue right through midweek. Well, I hope you've been enjoying the long weekend thus far. I'm Michelle Mackey. You're watching the Weather Network. I know the weather hasn't been exactly cooperative in parts of the west, and unfortunately that'll continue through Monday for places like Alberta. We have some snowfall warnings too, but the rain, the snow not going to be as heavy tomorrow in comparison to today. But in Ontario, Quebec, this is where things are really looking fantastic. Temperatures around that 20-degree mark or higher for tomorrow. A great day. In fact, this is probably going to be the best day of the entire weekend. So you really got to get outside. 26 degrees in Montreal. So there's that area of high pressure. You're going to note that it's just really sticking around right through Wednesday. However, for northwestern Ontario, we're watching this cold front slide through. This is likely to trigger some thunderstorms for places like Thunder Bay into Monday evening as we have that cooler air mass interacting with that hot, humid air mass. Here's the thunderstorm risk for today. You'll note that northern New Brunswick into the Gaspé Peninsula, parts of eastern Ontario, southern Quebec at risk for those non-severe thunderstorms. We have seen or detected some strikes of lightning up towards the Trenton area and down towards Simcoe as well, just south of Hamilton. For Atlantic Canada as a whole in terms of your rainfall, this is how much we're expecting through Monday, but the rain not going to be as heavy in places like Halifax on Monday. So it'll be not a total washout, but you'll still need to bring the umbrella. We've had a little bit of rain in the west in places like Revelstoke, and that's where we find our very own Deb Mediachka and Chrissy Van, and the rain really hasn't stopped them from having some fun.
Slightly chillier this morning here in Revelstoke, but still beautiful views behind us at Revelstoke Mountain Resort.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we lucked out this May long weekend. We had some really great weather, so able to ride the Pipe roller coaster probably half a dozen times. And then, of course, you got to take that fantastic helicopter ride and saw some great scenery.
Yes, and of course, I took the GoPro along, so I'll be sharing that footage with you. We're going to have lots of stories because, let's face it, the summer season is around the corner.
Absolutely. A little bit chilly now, a little bit of rain, but that's okay. It is May long weekend after all.
Okay, thanks, girls. Now let's bring you back to our forecast through Monday. Rainfall going to be the heaviest from Red Deer up towards Edmonton. Edmonton not in the rainfall warning, but you're still expecting an additional 25-35 millimeters. Here's the thunderstorm risk for today. We have detected some lightning already in the prairies along the border region of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. For the most part, non-severe in nature. There's less energy than what we had yesterday, but we could see some stronger cells develop along the border region. Meanwhile, in the States, our storm hunters saw this yesterday. Happy Sunday to you. It's nice to know we don't have to go back to work or school tomorrow. I'm Michelle Mackey. And you know, Monday's actually shaping up to be the best day of the whole weekend for parts of Ontario and Quebec as that ridge of high pressure continues to amplify. 26 degrees in Montreal, 24 in Toronto, and lots of sunshine, needless to say. As we track a little bit further to the west, that's where we have the risk of some non-severe thunderstorms through this afternoon, evening, even through the overnight. And it's all thanks to a cold front that's sweeping through. We could see some stronger cells develop along the border region. Now in Calgary, this is what we saw last night. Yeah, you're seeing that right. Snow. Moving into Monday, still dealing with that thunderstorm risk. A couple of things going on here. We still have that upper level low that's moving into Saskatchewan, Manitoba, plus that cold front, the same one triggering the thunderstorms today. That's moving into northwestern Ontario. So Thunder Bay, Kenora, you could be hearing those rumbles of thunder. We could even see some hail associated with this. The fire danger forecast for Monday certainly lowering for parts of Saskatchewan into Manitoba. This was a very different picture yesterday, but we still have those extreme risk areas for extreme southern Saskatchewan and extreme southwestern Manitoba, and that's just where we have a little bit of a dry slot. There's the heat in through northern Ontario. In terms of how much rain we have left, well, the bulk of it is falling today in Alberta. In fact, we do have some rainfall warnings just to the west of Edmonton for 40 to 60 millimeters of rain, plus some snowfall warnings. But for Calgary, Monday, only an additional 2 to 4 millimeters there. This is really impressive for Edmonton. You've had 83 millimeters of rain since Friday. That's more than you've had in the last 7 months combined. And for you, a little bit more to go through Monday, 15 to 25 additional millimeters expected. We have a cold front that's moving from eastern Ontario, southern Quebec, into parts of northern New Brunswick. That could trigger some non-severe thunderstorms, but lightning, always severe, especially if you're out on the water. That's when you gotta head back. Now, we had our very own celebrity forecaster do very well today in the Indy 500, so watch this. Well, the long weekend is upon us. Hope you've been having a fun one so far. I'm Michelle Mackey. Let's break down the top weather events across the country. We've got a fantastic forecast in store for Quebec, Ontario, as that ridge of high pressure continues to build in. In fact, Monday looking like the warmest day, the sunniest day of the whole weekend. So make sure you get outside and have some fun there. The lake temperature is still a little bit on the cool side, though. Thunderstorm risk area quite widespread once again this afternoon. We have a cold front that's sweeping through Manitoba, and that could trigger some isolated severe thunderstorms down towards the border region. And speaking of severe weather, our storm hunters have been on the chase. Here they were in Texas earlier today.
So right now we have lots of little updrafts starting to form, lots of cumulus clouds, and if those cumulus clouds keep building way high in the atmosphere, you get really tall cloud tops, sometimes as high as 50, 60,000 feet. Once we get those ones, that's when we know we're really chasing a powerful thunderstorm. But we're really watching this one here because the updraft is definitely becoming stronger and stronger. The storm is building to greater heights in the atmosphere. We've got cold temperatures aloft. We've got winds changing speed and direction with height. We call that shear. And we've got CAPE, convective available potential energy. You probably hear us talk about that on the Weather Network a lot. It's really the strength of the updraft, the amount of buoyancy that you have in the air. So we have all the right parameters. We're just going to see what we get.
Okay, stay safe, you guys. That was a really great analysis, by the way, of all the things you need in place for some severe thunderstorms. In the States, millions of Americans are in the risk area, the slight risk area of those tornadoes, so we'll certainly be checking back in with Mark and Jacqueline. The rain through Monday going to ease slightly in Alberta, though still a little bit heavier further to the north, places like Edmonton, an additional 25 or so millimeters. There's that cold front sweeping through northwestern Ontario tomorrow evening. That could trigger some thunderstorms once again, and so too could this upper level low. For BC, another unsettled day, especially through the southern interior on Monday, but come Tuesday and Wednesday, a ridge of high pressure building back into place for you, so temperatures are going to improve. You'll see the sunshine. It won't last long. Into Thursday, we have another upper level low that's setting up over the west. Now let's play out the long range graphic for eastern Canada. I want you to focus in on the Maritimes. We know what's going on in Ontario. We do have another area of low pressure making its way through the southern Maritimes, Nova Scotia especially, into Monday, and then the risk of showers continues right through Thursday. Same thing goes for Newfoundland. And then by Wednesday evening, the remnants of that prairie low making its way into Ontario. That could bring us some showers and the risk of some thunderstorms. We want to hear from you. Make sure you connect with us online on social media, Twitter, Facebook. And right now, no matter where you live, it's your local forecast. It's time now for a Weather Watch update. We're heading into the end of the long weekend. I'm Michelle Mackey. That ridge of high pressure just continues to amplify. Ontario, Quebec, we have a fantastic day in store for you with temperatures at least 20 degrees, mid-20s for southern Ontario. To the north, that's where temperatures are going to be feeling anyways, like the low 30s with the humidity. Still dealing with some active weather in the west, however, thanks to an upper level low. We've got a cold front sliding through. This could trigger some non-severe thunderstorms today with stronger cells, the potential anyways, a little bit further to the south. As we move into tomorrow, the risk area slides a little bit further to the east. So too does that area of low pressure, and we could see some of those thunderstorms move into northwestern Ontario. But let's forget about thunderstorms for a moment on average. So no doubt the fire danger forecast has dropped quite significantly for Alberta with those cooler temperatures, with all of the precip. It continues to do so for Monday. We still have those extreme pockets for parts of southern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba, just where we've had the drier weather. But the bullseye, the most extreme and widespread fire danger risk to northwestern Ontario into tomorrow. How much rain is left for Alberta? It's the question everyone wants to know. Well, most of the rain falling today. And we do have some rainfall warnings just to the west of Edmonton, plus some snowfall warnings into the higher elevations. But for places like Calgary and southern Alberta, only a couple of millimeters to go. But here's what you've seen so far in Edmonton. This is pretty impressive. 83 millimeters since Friday. That's more than you've had over the last 7 months in total. But you still have a little bit of a ways to go, 15 to 25 additional millimeters for you into Monday. We could be dealing with some non-severe thunderstorms for parts of eastern Canada through this evening as well. And this is associated with a cold front sliding through, so we could see some of those lightning strikes up towards the Gaspé Peninsula, the eastern townships, even into eastern Ontario. Most of the rain going to be falling today in Nova Scotia. A new low pushes in through the overnight. That one a little less organized. Right now, it's our celebrity forecast. Time now for the Lawn and Garden Report. We're still dealing with that pesky upper level low in the west. That's bringing some light rain from Saskatchewan into Alberta. The rain in Alberta not as heavy as what we're dealing with through the day on Sunday. But as we look a little bit further to the east, we do have some moisture through the overnight, continuing for parts of the southern Maritimes. This will ease as we move into your holiday Monday, but still the chance is there for some showers and temperatures slightly below seasonal. Well, the long weekend is upon us, so I'm sure many of us doing some traveling, and we'll fly you down south in just a second. But here's what you're leaving behind across the country on Monday. A great day for Ontario, Quebec, unsettled once again in the west. Let's fly you down to the Lone Star State, where we are watching for temperatures to soar into the high 20s, low 30s. We are, however, dealing with the risk of some severe weather through parts of eastern Texas, so keep that in mind. Safe travels from all of us here at the Weather Network.
Thanks for tuning into the Weather Network. Hope you're enjoying the long weekend. I'm Kelly Sonnenberg.
And I'm Michelle Mackey. Let's break down the top weather events across the country. Looking at the radar, we do have a little bit of rain pushing into the Maritimes, and we'll talk more about that in a sec. But let's talk about the good news, Kelly. A ridge of high pressure.
Yeah, temperatures have been great the last few days in places like Ontario and Quebec. Even the Maritimes fairly warm, and these warm temperatures look to stick around as we head through the final full week of May.
Yeah, it's going to be feeling like summer. We've got our summer forecast airing on Tuesday night here on the Weather Network. You don't want to miss that. But Kelly, you have a long weekend tradition that I think you should share with us.
I wanted to share with the viewers. I know a lot of people have long weekend traditions. A lot of people go up, open up their cottage. Mine is actually, I grew up in Port Elgin, which is in Bruce County along the Huron Shores. And our tradition is everyone dresses up in crazy outfits, builds these huge rafts. Some of them are double-decker, and we float down the Saugeen River. So this runs through Bruce County.
Wow.
So just a couple of these shots, you can see people in their canoes having a great time. One person has actually put a barbecue on. They're barbecuing up some burgers. Gotta get hungry, right?
Don't try that. And also the outfits. I slipped this one in for you, Kelly. This is Kelly and her friends The A team apparently.
Do we need to draw attention to this, Michelle? Thank you.
Surprise. If you want to connect with us, because we want to hear about your long
Yeah.
weekend traditions. I don't even have a long weekend tradition, so you can always suggest some to
Yeah,
me.
Michelle needs some suggestions.
Exactly. So you can find us on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook. But let's get back to the weather story and shift gears, moving to the west.
We do have the risk for thunderstorms again through the prairies. Southern Manitoba looks to be the bullseye, but the parameters not as favorable as they were on Saturday. So again, heavy rain, strong winds, the primary threats there.
Rain continues for Alberta as we move through Monday, but not quite as heavy. Only about 5 millimeters or so left for Calgary, but the temperatures, they are remaining on the cool side. And we were talking earlier, Calgary, was it 5 degrees?
5 degrees was your high on Sunday.
Yes.
And you picked up 3 centimeters of snow. Great.
Congrats.
The good news, temperatures will start to warm up a bit as we head through the week. The bad news, a late week, looks to be another significant trough or upper level low to move in, unfortunately keeping conditions unsettled and a bit on the coolish side.
Okay, so it's not over quite yet. But in the east, there's that area of active weather Monday night, that cold front just sliding through, but it won't be until late Wednesday when that area reaches southern Ontario.
Yeah, late day Wednesday into Thursday, we'll see some showers. This front, again, has the history of bringing thunderstorms through the prairies. We're expecting some in northwestern Ontario as we head into Monday, so we'll be on the lookout for some possible thunderstorms in southern Ontario as it moves in.
Okay, we'll take a look across the country as a whole on Monday. This is what we'll leave you at to give you the big picture. We want you to connect with us as we showed you, and of course, no matter where you live in the country, your local forecast is starting right now. You're watching the Weather Network.
Monday, Victoria Day, a great day to barbecue if you live in Ontario or Quebec. Toronto looking at a high of 24 degrees and sunny skies. Maybe not the best day to hit up the barbecue if you live in the prairies. It's going to be a little soggy and temperatures on the coolish side. As we head into Ontario, we will see the risk for some thunderstorms towards northwestern Ontario with an approaching cold front, but conditions look to be great in southern Ontario with high pressure, sunny skies, and warm temperatures.
Hi, you're watching the Weather Network. Hope you're enjoying the long weekend. Nice to know we have one more day of it. I'm Michelle Mackey, joined by meteorologist Kelly Sonnenberg. Let's get to the weather story.
Well, unfortunately, it wasn't a great couple days in parts of Alberta. We had snowfall warnings. We saw rainfall warnings as well. Calgary picked up 3 centimeters of snow on Sunday.
And what was their daytime high Sunday?
5 degrees?
5 degrees.
Lucky you.
A very different picture in eastern Canada, Ontario, Quebec. We're watching for that ridge of high pressure to continue to amplify over the coming days. And temperature-wise into your holiday Monday, low to mid-20s. Further to the north, high 20s, very possible, Kelly.
I suggest you find a friend with a pool because it is going to be a scorcher all week. It's going to feel like summer for the final week of May.
Oh, and we've got our summer forecast airing here on the Weather Network Tuesday night. Don't forget about that. Now, here's that area of high pressure. We do have a little bit of activity to northwestern Ontario.
Yeah, this front will be moving in into Monday, so places like Thunder Bay could hear some rumbles of thunder as we head through Monday afternoon into the evening. This front will slowly make its way further south, but southern Ontario has a nice couple days ahead, dry conditions, and it won't be until midweek that we really see that front move in.
We have an area of low pressure pushing into Nova Scotia through the overnight. We could see some lightning strikes offshore. Not much more in the way of rainfall, only a few millimeters for Halifax, and not a total washout.
No, much of that rain has already fallen, so as we head into Monday, Nova Scotia may see some isolated lingering showers, a little bit more cloud cover, but areas like PEI, New Brunswick, you'll be looking at sunny skies for your Victoria Day Monday.
Yeah, it's looking great. Now, where we've certainly been dealing with some active weather, that is stateside, and we've got this video here for you. I've been following them online on our social media.
Make sure you follow on Twitter at Weather Network US. You'll find all of the great information there from Jacqueline and Mark. Now, Michelle, back to the prairies. That rainfall through Alberta, most of this fell on Sunday. We will still see some lingering rain, but where we'll be watching is northern Saskatchewan. This is where we could be picking up closer to 20 to 30 millimeters of rain, but not much in the way to the south, and unfortunately that fire danger forecast is getting too extreme in those regions.
Here's your thunderstorm risk through the evening, overnight, Sunday into Monday. For the most part, non-severe in nature. We could see some stronger cells develop closer to the border, and then into Monday, as we were talking about, that risk area expands into northwestern Ontario.
Yeah, and we could see a risk for an isolated severe late day Monday. That'll be with our cold front approaching. Probably the biggest risks will be strong winds and likely some heavy downpours, but we'll have more on this coming up. But first, your local forecasts.
It's time now for for your Weather Watch update. I'm Michelle Mackey, joined by meteorologist Kelly Sonnenberg. Let's bring you to the east. It's a pretty fantastic forecast over the next couple of days.
Yeah, this weekend's been great as well. Temperatures in the low 20s, but expected to warm up even more as we head through the week, Michelle. Temperatures getting into the mid 20s. Those are our core temperatures, but it's going to be feeling closer to the low 30s, even areas in southern Quebec, the mid 30s.
Yeah, this is great. It's an early taste of summer, and it's great if you like it hot and humid like I do.
Yeah, I like it too.
And now as we take you a little bit further to the west, this is where we once again have a thunderstorm risk area.
We are seeing some thunderstorms push into southern parts of Manitoba on Sunday evening. We will see some scattered thunderstorms to northern parts of Saskatchewan, Manitoba. The setup not as favorable today as it was on Saturday. Saturday we did see a little bit more isolated supercells today. The main concern will be training thunderstorms where we see significant rainfall to small areas or strong wind gusts.
It wasn't the rain that we were dealing with in Calgary. No, it was snow through the overnight Saturday into Sunday. In fact, about 3 centimeters of it. But on average, each May, Calgary picks up about 12 centimeters. So this is not unheard of.
No. How did you feel when you saw that?
Not nice, and I don't even live in Calgary, so I'm sorry. Now here's your thunderstorm risk area for Monday. Kelly, becoming a little bit more expansive.
Yeah, our low pressure system will track further east, so our cold front will be passing through northwestern Ontario. That's why we do have the risk for isolated severe, because we just have that extra lift in the environment. Michelle, lots of rainfall though these last few days through parts of Alberta.
Yeah, we've had more rain in Edmonton this weekend than we have over the last 7 months as a whole. But the good news is the rain is not going to be quite as heavy Monday in comparison to Sunday. Only about 5 millimeters or so left for Calgary, but let's bring you stateside where we do have the risk of some active weather.
Yeah, anywhere from the northern plains to the central and southern plains, we've been seeing quite a bit of active weather the last couple days, and this will continue as we head into Monday. Actually, we have a great time lapse.
Wow.
This was in Leoti, Kansas. Beautiful time lapse of this
Look at that
thunderstorm.
rotation.
Yeah. Big supercell there. And again, as we head into Monday, we still have the risk for thunderstorms in the same area with almost a stationary boundary, lots of energy here to work with. And our storm hunters are actually down there right now. We saw some video just earlier.
Yeah, they're
Very
actually
large hail.
on Periscope, which is a really cool app. So if you want to join in, you can watch live at theweathernetwork.com. Find us on Twitter and we'll provide you with those links. Now here's your thunderstorm risk in eastern Canada through the overnight.
These thunderstorms look to die off as we head into the evening. This was more of a daytime story. Could see a couple isolated cells here and there, a little bit of pockets of lightning, but not a huge concern as we head through Sunday evening. Michelle, we do have a low pressure system moving through the Maritimes, really only bringing rainfall though to Nova Scotia.
Yeah, PEI, New Brunswick, it'll be a pretty nice day. Temperatures around that seasonal mark. Here's the long range movie. You can see that as we move into midweek, that's when this boundary is going to sink a little bit further to the east into southern Ontario. That could bring us some scattered showers and also some thunderstorms.
Yeah, and our temperature is very warm again. Remember, in the low 30s it's feeling like. Unfortunately, Atlantic Canada, they might see a couple warm days for the beginning of the week, but as we head through mid to late week, it looks like a trough will bring in some cooler temperatures.
Right now, it's your local forecast, and remember, this Tuesday, it's the summer forecast here on the Weather Network.
Monday, Victoria Day, a great day to barbecue if you live in Ontario or Quebec. Toronto looking at a high of 24 degrees and sunny skies. Maybe not the best day to hit up the barbecue if you live in the prairies. It's going to be a little soggy and temperatures on the coolish side. As we head into Ontario, we will see the risk for some thunderstorms towards northwestern Ontario with an approaching cold front, but conditions look to be great in southern Ontario with high pressure, sunny skies, and warm temperatures. Monday, Victoria Day, a great day to barbecue if you live in Ontario or Quebec. Toronto looking at a high of 24 degrees and sunny skies. Maybe not the best day to hit up the barbecue if you live in the prairies. It's going to be a little soggy and temperatures on the coolish side. As we head into Ontario, we will see the risk for some thunderstorms towards northwestern Ontario with an approaching cold front, but conditions look to be great in southern Ontario with high pressure, sunny skies, and warm temperatures. You're watching the Weather Network. I'm Kelly Sonnenberg alongside Michelle Mackey. Hope you're enjoying the long weekend. Unfortunately, it hasn't been so great for areas like Alberta, Saskatchewan, a little bit rainy, a little bit cool. Calgary on Sunday really only got up to about 5 degrees, Michelle.
Oh, and they picked up 3 centimeters of snow
Let's
through
not
the
forget
overnight
that.
into Sunday morning. Now,
Maybe they don't want to be
unfortunately,
reminded about that.
We're sorry for that. good news, somewhat good news into Monday. The rain not going to be quite as heavy in Alberta, but the temperatures remain below seasonal. We didn't even break the double digits today for many areas. Where things are really heating up, a little bit further to the east, Ontario, Quebec, Kelly.
Temperatures are going to be feeling like actually core temperatures in the mid-20s. It'll be feeling closer to the low 30s, even mid-30s for areas in Quebec as we head through mid to late week.
As we look a little bit further to the north into Monday evening, we do have the risk of some thunderstorms for northwestern Ontario. This is associated with a cold front sliding through. Eventually, that area of low pressure will make its way into southern Ontario, but not until late Wednesday into Thursday.
Yeah, not really expecting much rainfall in through southern Ontario until midweek. The energy there could support some isolated thunderstorms, but again, a little bit too far out right now to pinpoint just where yet, so we'll be following that. Now, Michelle, we have seen some rain across Nova Scotia, not impacting all of the Maritimes, and Newfoundland in through the interior seeing just some light showers, but really overall not a washout.
No, not by any means. And I mean, if you live in New Brunswick, PEI, it'll be a pretty nice holiday Monday. Now, let's talk about the rain again here because you can see it is spreading a little bit further to the east.
Yes, it was definitely a washout in Edmonton on Sunday. The good news, the rain will slowly start to ease up as we head through Monday. What we'll be watching is this pocket of rain to northern parts of Saskatchewan. That's where we could be picking up about 20 to 30 millimeters of rain there.
Here's your thunderstorm risk for the evening and even through the overnight. Non-severe in nature for the most part, but we could see some stronger cells develop a little bit closer to the border region. And then, as we mentioned, sliding into northwestern Ontario for Monday, where we've certainly been dealing with some active weather. That's stateside. And our storm hunters, they've been on the chase. So let's see what they've been seeing, Kelly, right now. Look at this.
Wow. In the U.S. on Twitter, they've got lots of great tweets about the storm systems in the U.S.
Now, in the west, BC in particular, another unsettled day. But as we move into Tuesday, we're watching for a ridge of high pressure to build in, a couple of days of sunshine and summer-like temperatures. And speaking of that, we've got our summer forecast airing here for you on the Weather Network on Tuesday. Up next, the Long Ranger.